Hi everyone, it's Suzanne here. Thanks for joining me for another Monday Makes video. Today I'm going to be using the Watercolor Words stamp set and the Watercolor Wishes stamp set to make my card. I'm starting off with the watercolor paper from Stampin' Up, and I'm using an embossing buddy. And then I'm stamping the heart image with Versamark ink. And I know you can't see it because it's on video, but you can see this part where I'm putting white embossing powder from Stampin' Up all over the stamped images. And then I'm using that tiny little heart from the Watercolor Wishes stamp set to fill in some of the blank spots on the paper. And then I'll be heat embossing it. And again, I know it's white on white, so I've sped this up a little bit so that you can get through it and I won't lose your attention. I did want to make mention that I used the stamping pad, the piercing mat, so that I could get a really good impression of these images. So I'm filling the heart images with water first, and then I'm going in with my Melon Mambo ink and on the top of the heart, and on the bottom of the heart, the rich razzleberry. And the other two inks that I have out are Rose Red and Blushing Bride. So I'm just sort of letting the ink do the work and sort of blend in on those pools of water. And I've done this, you know how I work. If I'm going to make one card, I might as well make two. So I've taped these two pieces of watercolor paper onto a board, just so, because I know I'm going to be adding a lot of water and I don't want them to warp too much. They do end up warping, but not to an extent that I couldn't handle it. So that painter's tape, it's actually frog tape, I think, and it's for delicate surfaces. And I did neutralize the stickiness on my arm before I actually put it down. Now, when I'm doing this, I do have a paper towel along with me so that I can easily wipe the brush off and clean it up as I go along. And if there's any little droplets, because I'm a messy watercolorer, I can pick up with that paper towel. So now that the hearts are dry, I have my Smoky Slate ink pad, and I've watered it down considerably. And I'm using a large flat brush. This is one of my Christmas presents that I bought for myself, was a new set of watercolor brushes. And yeah, I'm coloring or trying to get the ink in there so that I'm able to see that resist from the tiny little hearts, and then the bigger hearts are going to stand out. So I've used the Love Sentiment in Basic Black Archival, and I'm going to be using the You out of the Just For You sentiment. So I'm just using a little bit more of that painter's tape and inking up the stamp. It's like selective inking. And I remembered to pull the tape off before I stamped. And now the card front says Love You. And the other card I am using from the Watercolor Wishes, and it says You Are So Loved. And just a note here, the Watercolor Wishes is from a kit. So I've just applied a generous amount of Fast Fuse on the back of my card bases, and I've attached them to Thick Whisper White cardstock. So I didn't put this in the video, but the hearts I went over with the Wink of Stella. And one finishing touch is that I'm using the Dazzling Diamonds, I can't even remember what it's called, Dazzling Details. And I'm just running it along the outside of the card because I felt it needed a little bit more something. So it's just adding a little bit of sparkle. So that's my cards for today. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again soon. Bye.